Naturally, as a superhero movie, The Avengers is bound to get a sequel. It was very successful both critically and financially, so all the more reason to make an amazing sequel and bring together all these Marvel characters again. But the real question is, how exactly is that going to happen? First, pardon my wearing a pinny, I felt extra douchey today. Second, there are going to be spoilers if you haven't seen a few of the Marvel movies, probably nothing major, but if you want to be completely pure and know nothing, I'm going to be discussing a few events that happened in Marvel movies. And 3, obviously this is speculation. I have no idea. And 4, I'm going to be giving a lot of information about the comic books because that's going to obviously play into what I think this is going to be about. Okay, to start off, we'll address the villain, Ultron. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ultron was built by Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man. But obviously, Ant-Man isn't going to be in Avengers 2. His first movie comes out after Avengers 2. So, obviously, I think this has pretty much been confirmed at this point. If not, it's very obvious, and there's no other way this can happen. Tony Stark will build Ultron. And what eventually ends up happening is Ultron is this amazing robot, and he becomes so, smart. He becomes sentient, realizes that he hates the world, and he wants to be like a villain and kill everyone, turns against Tony Stark, and tries to take over the world multiple times. He upgrades himself a bunch of times, not a huge deal. Another important thing to consider is now that it has been announced that Paul Bettany will be playing the Vision. Now, originally, Paul Bettany has been the voice of Jarvis, Iron Man's robot butler, who talks to him in his helmet and everything like that. And in the comics, Vision was built by Ultron to help him fight everyone, but eventually Vision changed sides and fought with the Avengers. Based on the fact that he voiced Jarvis, what Ultron did, and kind of the fact that now he's built by Tony Stark, what I'm assuming is going to happen is that Ultron kind of takes little parts. I'm not sure if he does this behind Tony Stark's back or says oh, let me just upgrade Jarvis a little bit. He changes Jarvis, makes the Vision, and maybe he thinks he's under his control, but maybe he's actually not. This is kind of a shady area. I'm pretty sure that will happen. I'm not exactly sure the context or exactly what is going to arise out of it. While we're on the subject of Tony Stark in that general area, a really, really big possibility for multiple reasons is that Tony Stark will die. Now, my first reason is that Robert Downey Jr. has been kind of, not vocal, but he's mentioned a few times that he doesn't really want to play Iron Man anymore. So that's the first possibility, obviously, in the business. In the context of the director, Joss Whedon, he is a big fan of killing off characters. He really thinks that, I think this might be a quote from him, that a character hasn't truly lived until they've died. And so, between Joss Whedon and Downey saying that he doesn't really want to play it anymore, and the fact that this is a sequel and it has to kind of one-up the Avengers in doing something big, I think it's a very, very large possibility that Tony Stark will die. Another, absolutely no reason for thinking this, but I feel like Hawkeye's gonna die. No idea why. No one has mentioned anything that would even make me think that, but I think Hawkeye's gonna die. The final speculation point is the newest additions to the team, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Now, if you saw Captain America the Winter Soldier, they were the end credits scene. And what you saw pretty much was them locked in some kind of test facility for Hydra. They also had Loki's scepter, and they had Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in 2 separate cages. Now, what I imagine the opening scene of Avengers 2 will be, as the opening scene of Avengers 1 was kind of Loki destroying the SHIELD facility and breaking out, this will be Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver breaking out of Hydra, maybe even destroying a few blocks. But one of the things that I'm really not sure about is how exactly they're going to be introducing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, because in the comics they're twins and they are the children of Magneto, and Marvel doesn't own the rights to Magneto, so I'm not exactly sure if they're just gonna not say it and maybe wait until they get the rights to X-Men and then say it later, or they're gonna come up with some other thing. Kind of what I would be guessing based on what I've seen so far, which, like I've said, is only the after credits scene of Captain America, is that maybe they're test subjects and they were given these powers artificially, or they just some random heroes who got picked up because of these powers. But I highly doubt that Magneto will be involved because they really can't involve him. As far as overall plot goes, It's really hard to speculate. Obviously, like I've said, Ultron and Tony Stark building Ultron, Ultron building Vision, and kind of that trifecta of drama is going to be a big part of it, as well as probably the Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch's origins will be a part of it, and Tony Stark dying, is my theory, will also be a part of it. But there's honestly no way to guess what's going to happen in between, because it could be absolutely anything. A few quick one-off things that I've heard. Some people think Loki will be involved. I doubt it. That would kind of... This wouldn't feel right, and I don't think they're going to bring Loki back again, because if they do, then he's just becoming like the spine of the series. He's been in both Thor movies and the Avengers, and I think they should just leave him for a little bit, maybe pick him up later. And my Tony Stark dying theory, I'm not the only one that holds that. I've seen that in other places, and what a lot of people are saying is like, oh, well then they can't just not have an Iron Man. It's like, they're not going to not have an Iron Man. There's his pal, Rhodey, who, he's War Machine. He has experience in this suit. There's no reason for him to not be able to take over as Iron Man if for some reason Tony Stark dies. All these things are just speculation. Joss Whedon is unpredictable. He could take the story in a lot of different directions, but those are all story elements that I believe will be in there in some way, shape, or form. We'll obviously learn more as we get closer to this release date, but we're already well over a year before it comes out. I mean, it comes out next summer, and they just started filming. A lot of things could change between then. A lot of new details will arise. The trailer will probably show some new things that we may not be sure about. I'm sure another SHIELD helicarrier will crash. But that's all I really have to say. If you agree, if you disagree, if you have different theories, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.